Sorry.
Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome 3/4 of ZFG with me tonight. I've got Jules Galli, Josh Devine, and Trev Lukather setting in as well. How are you guys doing tonight?
Amazing.
Well, it's Lukather, but yes, Lucifer was taken.
Okay. Okay, Lukather, there we go. Sorry about that. A little mispronunciation there.
It's all good.
You guys just put out some music. Your new video for Special is out. You're hitting the charts. Everything's rolling forward. You're getting ready to go out on a tour with Adelita's Way. You're going to do some dates with Winery Dogs. You guys have got to all be excited.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time.
And did I see you guys also got to play Special for Gene Simmons a short time ago?
Yeah, we did do that.
So,
yeah, our manager brought him in last second when we were doing a showcase, and because Kiss was rehearsing next door to us, and he knew Gene, and I've met Gene a couple times in my pop, and he came in and just he was a force, man. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely. Now, did you get to go in and watch them rehearse, or did Gene just come in and watch you guys?
No, he just came in to watch us.
Yeah. I wish, man. Although we did take a few extended coffee breaks to go stand outside the door and listen to a couple tracks.
We heard Detroit Rock City outside the door. That was pretty sick.
Excellent. Now, is Paul singing live, or is it tracks?
He was singing live, as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
Not like all of them were singing.
Very cool. Very cool.
I'm sure that helped. But at the same time, he was kind of giving us shit for having some background vocals on this track.
Typical Gene.
So,
You know?
Yeah. It's Gene. I mean,
you guys sound too good.
So, you guys have sort of all known each other for a little while. You started jamming around, I think it was around January of 18. You made everything official around August of 2018, and things have just sort of steamrolled from there. Who wants to tell me how everything sort of came together?
Well, I would say that what happened was, we were all doing separate projects, and, Josh and I, and Jules, and Sam all had very, very different sounding projects on our own. And Josh and I, we're definitely like rock heads. We were doing kind of like a indie pop project separately. And Jules is very like soul, pop, funk project. He was doing solo stuff. And then Sam had this jazz, funk, instrumental project, or he still does kind of have it, called Groove Sauce. And anyway, as a guitar player, I just wanted to kind of have an opportunity to let loose and do some guitar solos and fun riffs, and I was kind of writing some crazy stuff on the side of my own thing. And Josh and I became roommates after we met, and we instantly hit it off. And Josh is just such a monster drummer. And in his project, I personally felt that he wasn't able to showcase his real chops and what he can do. And I thought it would be fun for us to get in the studio for the hell of it and just make some noise. And bringing Sam in would be perfect because Sam and I grew up together.
Sure.
Our dads were in the same band together. So, and Jules and I kept bumping into each other.
Yeah, I kept on saying, that's a sexy motherfucker, man. Yeah, with his long hair. Yeah, man.
I felt the exact same way. I mean, literally my pants tightened every single time Jules Galli was in the room.
There you go.
But Jules, I would hear him, sing and do some amazing things, but there was something I saw when Josh and I were kind of trying to figure out who'd do some vocals and just get in the studio with us. I just happened to come across one of Jules' videos, and he just, in his high register, it went from like really funk, cool, pop, soul vocal to like Axl Rose meets like Chris Cornell Audio Slave, and it just meets the Bee Gees, and Josh and I were completely blown away, and so we hit up Jules and see if he would be into just having some fun with us, and then Jules, you can continue.
Right, what a fun we had.
I was gonna say, Jules, in the song "Wholehearted," which I've seen, you got a video, not a video, but it's out on YouTube and stuff. The other vocalist I can hear in your voice, particularly on that one, is like Miles Kennedy.
Oh yeah,
that's
a lot
what
of
I
Miles
meant.
Kennedy. I do get a lot of Miles Kennedy references. That's good. I mean, he's incredible. So I'll take it as a great compliment.
But you had come from more or less of an sort of like an R&B vibe. I watched the video for your solo stuff there. I watched the one for It's Too Late. That had a great R&B vibe, kind of an early 90s stuff, you know?
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, it was it's been a cool journey, and I would have never, if you had asked me like years ago, what do you think is going to happen to you in 4 years, I would have never said I'm going to be in one of the greatest rock bands in the world, you know?
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that, and it's just great, like, it's a great surprise.
Yeah.
Great surprise, and I love it.
And Josh, I'm hearing you're really into this because you've sort of been like a gun for hire, so to speak, whereas now you're like in the band, you're helping to create, you're doing everything, and you're kind of getting off on that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's funny, I played pop music for a long time, but I still approached pop music and R&B and even grime and rap that I used to play back in London. I approached that as a rock drummer still, so now I actually get to approach rock music as a rock drummer. So yeah, I'm stoked. It's nice to be an equal and to create stuff that we're all super proud of, and that's a big thing for me because being a hired gun for so long, it's great, it pays the bills, but at the end of the day, there's something lacking in that, and I'm just super thankful I found it with these guys here.
Cool. I love the play-along video where you're doing Duality from Slipknot. Very cool.
Thanks, man.
And I'll say...
I'm a metalhead, man.
And I'll say this other thing. You play a mean couch in that acoustic version of Wholehearted.
Exactly, a mean couch, yeah.
The mean couch, I think Jules' palm as well was abused.
A very solid snare drum.
Now, is everybody creating the music together, lyrics? Jules, are you doing lyrics and everybody else is doing music? How's that coming about with the songs and stuff?
I mean, that's how it started. It was definitely, like Trev would come up with this fucking cool guitar riff, and then I'd be singing some melodies and words would come with. The more and more we're writing, and the more it's everyone really getting together. And I personally, unless I have like a story that that just completely flows out like naturally with the melody, I like to write lyrics with the guys. I like to be okay, what are we going to talk about here? Like, what are we trying to say?
Right.
So, or like individual voices are just merging as one. The more and more we're writing, and we arrange all of the music together. I feel like the best work we've done, as you hear in Special, we really arranged everything on the go in the studio. We finished writing the song in the studio, and I think it shows. I think that's why it's probably. I mean, we're still at the very beginning of our story, but it's definitely one of the best songs that we have so far, and I think it's because it was a group creation.
And I heard that song came together at the very end of everything, sort of came out of a riff. Your production people heard it, said you guys got to do something with this.
Correct, yeah.
And,
yeah.
We'll give them credit for that. No, it was great. It was just we had a different song in mind, and actually we're arranging that song now, which is still a really great tune called No One Else that we're going to record. But we had a few mid-tempo tunes, so we kind of felt that an up-tempo track would be, suitable for the EP, and I just kept jamming the main riff of Special, and then Jules would kind of jump in, and then all the guys, and then, Josh and Sam would kind of vibe with it and start putting a groove to it, and it kind of came together extremely, quick and natural, and then we kind of wanted to experiment, because we actually brought Lenny Castro on percussion, who's like a legendary percussionist,
mm-hmm.
and
it was just kind of one of those songs that we really truly experimented from the bottom up in the studio, and that was definitely a huge band altogether, and it just showed just definitely how, no pun intended, how special this whole thing really is, because we really all came together on that tune, and it is what it is,
Yeah. And I love the lyric video. Whose idea was to do the video and the way that you did it? That's fantastic. It's a little different than the usual lyric video.
That was actually our manager, John, knew a guy, and he's just like, hey man, this guy is really, also very special and has a really cool idea. Let me get something together and show you guys. And we were sent 30 seconds, and honestly, we were blown away. We're like, wow, man, this this video is also pretty special, you know, no pun intended. It's worked, and people seem to really, really dig it. So.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really hip to lyric videos. I know nothing about them, so I kind of, you know, I was more into the performance video.
Right.
And I know lyric videos kind of go with the game, but, you know, John's like, well, I have this guy, and then we saw it, and we were all like, fuck, that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, you're getting ready to go out on tour, and it's my understanding you guys haven't done a whole lot of live shows. You've done like a couple, 3 live shows here. I saw where you did one with Buck Cherry. Am I right there?
I mean, we've done a fair bit of live shows. Yeah,
we've done like 6, 7 or something like that.
Okay.
But it's pretty fresh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we were actually, it all started off playing for like our bro Ryan Cabrera. He like would throw these Hollywood parties and would want a band, and he loves the band, so he would ask us if we'd want to do it. And actually, the first time, our first show we ever played together, we wrote Wholehearted, but we didn't have any other tunes, so we actually all got together over the weekend and wrote 4 songs, so we could play 4 songs in the set.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it all started. And then we started doing like a couple of those shows, and then we did Sayers Club a couple times, and then we did Buck Cherry and a few other ones.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, so we're very fresh, but we're all very like, we've done a lot of live stuff, and then our energy together as a band is just, we're all like bros and love each other, so you feel that energy on stage. It comes really easy. So I mean, like, you know, take us separately, we've done hundreds of shows, but really as a band, it's like, we don't really need, we don't need that like, oh, we need to go out for like a month to get our groove going. Like, the groove's there, man.
Yeah.
This journey is just beginning, so.
No.
You know, we're excited to go on the road and take it on tour for the first time. And I feel that it's going to be great because we get to play for strange, like people that don't know us, have never heard of us, or some people that are hearing our song on the radio and want to check us out. But it's definitely going to be one of those really cool homecoming, not homecoming, but like, I don't know the word I'm trying to think of, but it's just really one of those things where we actually get to, you know, win over fans and the challenge of that. But it's kind of my favorite thing to do.
Very cool. Now, when you guys all got together, say, first time in the studio, did you knock out something like original, or did you have that Led Zeppelin moment where you played Train Kept a Rollin' and everybody looked at each other? How did it come about that first time you guys got together in the studio?
We actually we just got in. Trev had this killer riff, and we're like, oh, let's just have some fun, put this together. We went into the studio, did it completely new, got Jules in, and it kind of just grew from there. Once we got the first mix back, we were like, holy shit, this is something different, you know. And then it just led to us playing a show together, and we literally, I think that weekend, didn't we? We wrote like another 3 songs.
Yeah, we wrote a few songs the first day when Jules came over to the house, and we kind of, I don't know, we wrote like 3 songs in a night, and
it was pretty intense but amazing.
Yeah, and Alice in Wonderland came over, and it was great. And but the thing is, man, is like we definitely started off original. We never got into covers.
No.
Really at all. We
did
played
one cover.
We played Audio Slave Coach Eyes.
Okay, yeah.
That was also like a space filler, I guess, because we only actually had 3 or 4 songs that we had original, and we thought, oh well, we need another song, but it so happened that it worked. The tail end of the one song we did, straight into Coach Eyes. Pretty cool.
Wholehearted was the beginning for sure.
Very cool. Awesome. Trev, I've got to apologize to you because originally I was told I was going to have Jules and Josh, and having you is great. I'm loving this. I love the on-the-fly type stuff. But I did a little bit of background on Jules and Josh that I wasn't able to do on you because I didn't know I was going to have you. But I'll go first with you. Can you give me some type of story, some kind of a musical memory that you have from your childhood growing up? I mean, obviously you were exposed to a ton of different stars and groups and music. You got a story you could tell, something that sort of springs to mind if you think back?
What, are you looking for dirt, man?
What, dirt or just something funny or whatever, whatever you want to tell,
Oh, man, that's a tough one because there's too many.
Well, you want to think about it while I ask the other guys and stuff?
Sure, I'll think about it.
Jules.
Yes, sir.
I want to check a few facts here. I saw that you sang in front of 3,000 people at age 11 with Yannick Noah.
Yeah, that's right, Yannick Noah.
after you auditioned, so to speak, on a table in a restaurant that he was there, your parents' restaurant or something?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, calling it an audition. I was the only contender.
Yeah.
That's probably why I got it.
Do you remember what song you sang?
Yeah, I sang, like, I did a song, at that time, and it was back in France, there was this movie called Les Choristes, like the choir boys, basically, that was very, very popular, and all original music, so I took one of those songs, I sang it to him a cappella. That was like
Come on, sing it out, we want to hear it.
No, I don't really remember it. It's, it's kids' music anyways, but I did that, and then I did, like, a funny song, like, from a funny movie where it actually took, Give Me the Night, that fucking, that funky song from, what's his name?
Lionel Richie.
No, well, it was close. One of his brothers, another guy. But
oh,
anyway,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, hey, that was great. Like, I'm playing a show tomorrow night in the city. Like, why don't you come over and do just what you did right now? I'm like, okay, cool. I never, I don't know. I was just a kid, and I'm glad I did it. It was very hard for him to get me off stage, actually.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it. I think it was the first time that I ever signed autographs afterwards, and I was like, okay, I am hooked. I am hooked on this drug. Give it to me more.
And it was right around after that time you started going to like a musical school. You had to get up at like 5 a.m.?
Yeah, that's right. I would go to the conservatory. I got accepted that same year. I got accepted to the Conservatory of Lyon, which is where I'm from, and I lived on the countryside in the vineyards. So in the morning, my mom would drive me to the train. It was still dark out, and I would travel like for an hour and a half by train and all that, and every day.
Wow. And then when you came to the States, you got accepted at Pratt Institute of Architecture in New York City?
Yeah, that was about 10 years later. Well, not 10. A few years later. I moved to Miami first with my whole family, and for college, I went to Pratt.
Wow. And then you left there for L.A. to get into the music biz?
Yeah, correct.
Very cool. Josh, started drumming at age 4? Got your first drum kit at age 4?
Yeah, my dad used to do a lot of recording and sessions as a singer, so I used to go when I was 3 and sit on his knee and play drums, basically.
Wow.
Studio when there was some options in it. Yeah.
And your first gig was at age 8 for a church function when the real drummer didn't show up or something? You sat behind the kit and did it?
Yeah. I think I was 6 actually. It was very awkward. The tent with like 500 people, and yeah, it was just some crazy. I don't remember. All I remember is some very awkward dancing lady with a tambourine standing there trying to hit the things. I just followed her.
Oh wow! And you worked in a supermarket while you were in school.
Yeah. I used to be the trolley boy. The collect shopping carts from.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're too lazy to go and pick them to go and drop them off at the drop-off point. Yeah.
Right.
That was me, man.
Been there, done that. It's especially fun when you're in about 6 inches of slush in the middle of winter out there, you know. And then I've got to ask you about this metal band you're in called Aversion, that you had dreadlocks while you were in it.
Holy shit, man! You've done your research. Yeah.
I do my homework.
When I was like 14, yeah, I had a metal band with some of my best friends called Aversion. Not a virgin.
Aversion. Aversion.
Aversion. Yeah. I had dreadlocks, and yeah, if I could get dreads again, I would, man.
Now, were you guys doing originals or covers?
Yeah, originals. It was all very like thrash death metal.
Ah, okay, cool.
Lots of blast beats, lots of there was a sea of 4 people headbanging in the crowd.
Very cool. All right, back to Trev. Have you had time to think up something with all this stuff?
I mean, yeah, I could tell you one cool story. I mean, here's the thing, man. Growing up the way I did, it's no different. It wasn't any different to me. It's just like anyone else who grows up with dad's friends or mom's friends around. Right. You know, or you never know. Like when you're growing up, you don't know who anyone is. You don't really. That's the beauty of it all too. And I kind of just, we're all human beings here, and all the success and that people have. I mean, it doesn't differ from anyone else. I mean, everyone else can, has a dream and can accomplish their dream. We just happen to be musicians. But one of them in particular that comes to mind, since like this whole Bohemian Rhapsody thing is so big, is when I was a kid, my dad brought me to Capitol Studios to hang with Brian May, and Brian May was mixing the surround sound for Night at the Opera. And we came into the studio, and Brian's such a gem of a dude. Like, talk about a guy with zero fabulousness and ego. I mean, the guy is the most, he's literally a rocket scientist, you know, as a musician. I mean, the guy's so smart and just such a cool dude. So I go into the studio with Dad and the surround sound mix, and he says, Trev, sit in the middle. So he puts me in his chair, and I get to hear Death on Two Legs surround sound.
Wow.
And he's just sitting there and smiling and talking to my pop in the back, and Dad kind of looks at me and says, you have no idea how cool that just was. And, like, you know, and Dad, like, one time, here's another one that was pretty cool. Dad was rehearsing for a Gibson Les Paul tribute show, and it was like Slash, Neil Sean, him, a bunch of people. Better staging at Burbank. And he says, hey, man, there's someone next door I want you to meet. I said, well, who? And he's like, it's a surprise. And he brings me in, and I see Linkin Park there. I'm like, well, that's cool. That's random.
Yeah.
And it wasn't them. Paul McCartney walks in.
Oh, wow.
And McCartney was doing that Linkin Park when they did the Grammys together, the performance together. And then I got to hang with Paul McCartney, and he was so cool, too. Talk about another gem of a guy.
Yeah.
He sat down and focused on us, and at the time I was playing guitar for Lindsay Lohan, and he was so curious to know if she could sing or not and how real it was. But it was just one of those real cool, surprising moments. So that's just like 2 out of a ton that I've been insanely blessed to experience. But you just don't really know, you know, when you're growing up, just who's hanging at the house, and you grow up to find out that you're not living exactly the most normal life.
Yeah, like you say, it's just friends of your pops, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you don't look at them any different.
Yeah, great stories. Talking with Trev Lukather, Jules Valley, and Josh Devine, 3/4 of ZFG.
Lukather, man.
What's that?
It's Lukather, Lukather.
I tried. I was saying Lukather. Didn't I say?
You've been saying Lukather.
You know, Lukather is pretty cool too, though. If you ever want to change it up.
Change my name.
So
Like I said, Lucifer was taken.
So 9 out of 10 people call me Josh Devine. So there you go, man. Got that right.
Let's go with Trev, Jules, and Josh. How's that? You know.
There we go.
My apologies for messing up on your name. It's this Vermont lisp, you know, that I've got out here. Once again, the EP's coming out sometime in April. You're hoping?
We'll see.
Okay.
Tentatively set.
Okay.
We're definitely releasing special, like, on all formats pretty soon, and I think we're gonna ride that wave for a bit, and then just kind of figure out what the best move is to release our full EP. For sure.
Yeah, and we're also gonna keep recording other songs. So what we have so far as the EP might evolve to another set of songs.
Very cool.
I 100% agree with Jules.
Excellent. Last question I got, and we'll go one at a time on this. Jules, what makes a great frontman for a band?
Oh, man, I think someone who connects with an audience and can obviously carry that energy, like, you know, beyond the room. That's kind of an obvious answer, but also, like, is there anything really more special than that? I'm actually putting in money in the bank right now at the same time I'm speaking to you, so I think also that maybe, you know, kind of
Josh,
yeah.
Josh, what makes a great drummer?
Someone who's solid. Someone that can actually groove and lock in. You see a lot of the people just, you know, wanting to go a million miles an hour and chop over everything, which is great, of course, but if you can't sit down and you can't lay into an easy, tasty groove, then you ain't worth shit.
There you go.
It's a groove I like.
Yeah, I feel like you need to be able to lock it down and allow space for the vocals to do their thing.
Cool.
That makes a good drummer.
Trev, what makes a great guitarist?
Well, someone I admire very much told me it's all about front row licks, and that's kind of been one of those things that has stuck with me. Singing with your guitar and having a great groove and pocket, rhythm, and because rhythm's so important as a guitar player. So I definitely think that front row licks and rhythm guitar, if you're really solid at singing with your guitar and rhythm, you're a great guitar player.
Very good. Gentlemen, I thank you very much for taking the time to chat with me. Once again, Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. We'll talk with Trev, Jules, and Josh, 3/4 of ZFG. Short for Zero Fucks Given, correct?
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Oh, also, I was gonna add to that last question you asked me. I forgot to say about being able to sing is also a good thing about being a frontman.
Yeah.
I talk about connecting with the audience, but if you don't know how to sing, it's gonna be a problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very important. Gentlemen, best of luck out on the tour. Looking forward to great things from you. Can't wait to hear more of this EP and the rest of the stuff that you're recording.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
With you, Brent.
Take care, guys.
All right, ciao. Bye.
Bye-bye.